What if there was a way to feel immediately better when you're swimming? After years of being a professional triathlete and now working with hundreds of swimmers, I can tell you that learning to breathe the right way makes all the difference if you want to swim fast without extra effort. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 techniques that can make you feel more relaxed, more powerful, and most importantly, faster when you swim. I'm Lukas Siska. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. You know, when I was younger, I didn't understand the importance of a proper warm-up. And then later as a professional triathlete, sometimes before swims, they won't even let you warm up. So oftentimes I'd have to go into the swim cold turkey, having to warm up during the race itself. Now, with what I'm about to talk about, we can actually activate that body so that it's warmed up before you get in the water, even without having to swim. What I didn't realize back then and didn't understand until much later in the game than I should have is that the body runs in 2 different modes, the parasympathetic mode and the sympathetic mode. The parasympathetic mode is when your body is at rest. It's when you're chilling. The sympathetic mode is when the adrenaline is pumping. It's also known as the fight or flight mode. And your body switches between these 2 modes depending upon what you're doing. And if you don't activate that sympathetic mode before you get in the water, then you're gonna have to do it while you're swimming. And this is why you kind of just struggle at first when you swim. Did you ever notice that when you start swimming, it takes a while to kind of get into it? But why not just get into it and feel good right off the start? And this is how we're gonna do that. Here's technique 1, the pre-swim sympathetic activation. Have you ever noticed Olympic swimmers before they dive in, when they're standing behind the blocks, getting ready to go, they are doing exactly this. And how we activate the body to be ready to just be gung-ho right off the start is to do some deep breaths. You need to stand up nice and tall, breathe in, and then powerfully exhale. We do this 5 to 10 times to just really get our lungs, heart, and blood pumping. This really gets us out of our parasympathetic mode and gets us into the sympathetic mode, ready to fight. Now, this is really important if you're a triathlete because a lot of times before the swim start, they don't even let you jump in to swim. So we did something to activate our lungs, our heart, to get the blood pumping, but we still need to activate the muscles as well because your muscles need time to get pumping at full blast. If you just jump in without waking them up, they also are in a weaker state. So it's important as a swimmer that you use bands if you can't jump in the water before a race. You can take bands, tie them around something, and then just pull all the swim muscles to wake them up. If you combine this with that powerful breathing technique that I just showed you, you can be ready to swim fast without even a swim warm-up. Now let's talk about technique 2, forceful breathing under the water. Now, many people think when they're swimming that they need to have more oxygen when they're swimming. But what happens is if you breathe in and just hold it in, your brain senses a buildup of CO2. And this CO2 causes the brain to get more panicky and then breathe harder and faster than it needs to. That's why it's important that you forcibly exhale that air so that everything becomes normalized within your system. So you want to breathe in and then exhale powerfully but steadily as you're swimming. This is so crucial to make the stroke feel much easier. So let me show you a simple example on land of how that forcible exhaust can look like when you're breathing and swimming. So when we go to take a breath, our head goes to the side, and as this arm comes around, we're gonna steadily exhale powerfully. Simple as that. Technique 3, rhythmic breathing. Now, even runners, elite runners, breathe rhythmically when they run. That's right, they're not just breathing randomly, they're syncing their breath to their stride. And we as swimmers, we have to do that even more. We have to have a rhythm when we breathe. So we talked about that forcible exhale. Well, it needs to be within a rhythm. And if you're racing or doing something really hard, I highly advocate breathing to the same side every 2 strokes. You know, a lot of people think they need a bilateral breathe. This is a myth. Bilateral breathing is a drill to help even out your stroke. There is a place for it, but do not bilateral breathe when you're in the middle of a triathlon race or if you're in the middle of a hard set. Breathe more so that you feel better, and do that with rhythmic breathing. So then that brings me to the question that I get asked all the time. So how am I supposed to breathe at different intensities? Well, let's make it simple. When you're just doing pure volume, let's say an effort of 6 out of 10, that's more like a volume effort, you can use bilateral breathing. This is a perfect time to even out your stroke and breathe every 3, for example. But if you're doing something like a threshold set, that's an effort of 7 or 8 out of 10, you should breathe more. You should breathe every 2, and that's what I do. Choose a side that you feel stronger on. I feel stronger on the right, and I'll breathe, take a breath, put my head back down, take a breath, put my head back down, and I'll do that all through my main set and racing. Now, to follow up that with another question, then you might say, Lucas, why do some coaches make you breathe every 5, every 7, every 9? Well, there's a place for that too. It's called hypoxic training. And when you're specifically doing training to try to increase your lung capacity, those are great things to do. I even have my swimmers sometimes when they're more advanced do sets like 3 times 200, breathe every 7 if they can hold it. And guys, if you want to know your true swim potential in this moment, I want you to take my quiz and we'll give you a score to let you know. Look in the comments below, click the link and find out. Technique 4, diaphragmatic breathing. Now, most swimmers only do chest breathing. I'm talking about swimmers who didn't grow up swimming as kids. They do chest breathing, which causes frantic breathing and only fills up the top of your lungs with air. We want to do something that's called diaphragmatic breathing. That's more within your belly, filling the lungs up to the fullest. This will give you more energy and give you more a relaxed feeling when you swim. So you really want to feel that up. And listen, I'm a big advocate of stretching the body out when you swim. New swimmers, new adult swimmers, they stay scrunched up. If you stretch out your body, you'll naturally breathe more with your diaphragm. So think about that when you swim. The more extended you are, the more buoyant you will become, and the easier it is to bring in that diaphragm when you breathe. Don't just do small, short chest breaths. Technique 5, returning to that parasympathetic state. Guys, this is super crucial, especially if you're a swimmer at a swim meet. You have a bunch of events and you need to recover quickly from the one that you just did. So if you can get your body to switch back to that rest mode faster, you will recover quicker and have more energy. So the way we can do this is with box breathing. Basically, you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. Shall we give it a try? Repeat that for 4 to 5 rounds and you'll find that your heart rate just comes right back down. You're more relaxed and ready to go for the next one. So here's the big picture. Swimming isn't just about fitness. It's about controlling your nervous system and your breathing. So before your swims, let's get into that sympathetic system right away with those deep, powerful breaths. Then during your swim, control that CO2 and exhale it powerfully. Then after your swim, return to that parasympathetic mode quick so that you can recover much faster and be ready for your next effort. If you want to learn how to combine this to be better at swimming with your catch, why don't you check out this video? And until next time, I'm Lukas Siska. Take care.